and just
he's not going to leave the
I think there's a
corporation.
certain
though.
level of, I think what Charlamagne is frustrated about, because I feel like I heard him say this, especially when the rankings had come out. He feels like, I think Charlamagne's problem is he gets analyzed by a specific black quadrant of media that don't respect the other shit he's doing. He feel like if you go look just the other day, I think I seen him on some white people shows, what Daily Show, something.
Oh, yeah,
and he bringing
was
in mad numbers. But
did
niggas
the
like
thing.
us don't talk about that, or that's not what gets brought up. And so then by the time he's being evaluated next to the Joe Buddens and them, he's only being evaluated based on how niggas feel like he's not doing that
Very
stuff the way
true.
they
In
want
the
him to do
black
it.
space.
Yeah,
No,
he
that
feels
is
like
a-
he ain't getting a totality.
That is a very good point. And now I will say I have not watched his appearances on the Daily Show at all. But I will say that I've seen him hold political conversations on the Breakfast Club, and the shit is fucking embarrassing. It's like, how much better could he possibly be doing?
Every
on the,
time.
Well,
Yes.
I've watched some of the Daily Show, and
Yes.
there's some good clips. I went out of my way to watch some of the Daily Show shit because
Yeah.
I wanted to see
Might
how
be
he's
great.
doing.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
I can't even put grade on it. I won't say it was
Why,
bad.
I about
though.
to say, why you make it sound like a hassle? You went out of your way.
Because I did. Because I wanted to
'Cause
fucking
I'm
know.
not-
I
I
didn't
didn't
want
want
to do that
Because I'm-
shit.
because
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
wasn't
sub-
in
because I'm not
I wanted
subscribed to the
check.
Daily
I actually
Show.
just, like she said, I just wanted to check. I didn't. My mind didn't say go there.
Have any of y'all seen it? You saw
I
it.
seen
Yeah,
it.
bruh,
I saw
no,
it.
nigga.
Decent?
It's
Well, yeah.
it's good. It's not amazing.
Exactly.
And it's what's that one dude? He's a comedian, I think. Roy Woods.
Yeah.
Troy Woods.
Yeah, Roy
Roy
Woods,
Woods, right?
yeah.
Woods, yeah.
He goes on there and he kills. And
then
that's
they played
kind of
him.
the expectation I be giving Charlamagne, because it's like, nigga, you a GOAT. Like, you know, you in this broadcasting game,
Right.
you're gonna be the GOAT of broadcasting. So I kind of give him that expectation. And that's another thing I wanted to say earlier, where it's like, TV is not an excuse for being PC. Because you can
Yeah.
still get some shit. Obviously, you can't say shit,
It's
but
just
you
gotta
can
be more
get that shit
intelligent.
off
Yeah.
in the same medium.
Maybe is he
You
refined
can,
enough? Maybe he's not
you can get
refined
off some crazy shit without cursing.
Literally.
Yeah,
Like, if
literally,
it's
yeah.
smart
Or-
enough, funny enough,
Yeah,
all that,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
possible. So that TV, PC, that's not an excuse.
But it is
Yeah.
harder because just letting a fuck
Yeah.
or a shit
It's just
fly
more
can
yeah.
add emphasis to something that
harder.
makes it
I
like
just
feel
feel
bad.
like
You elite,
It's
you shouldn't
level-
rely on that.
but it's-
Yeah.
So are you the GOAT then?
I don't think
If
it's
you
that
can't
he's
make
not.
that transition, if you struggle with making, that's the thing. It's like with Charlamagne, it's like I know he really hates or talks about, like, it feels like he hates his time period early when he was on
Yeah.
that sniffing seats and shit like that, right? Like he speaks like, man, that was embarrassing. That wasn't even me. Like
Right,
I was
right,
playing a character. Like he said shit like that. So it's like, if this is the real you, why are you struggling so much to fucking transition if you're the GOAT into this new level? Because, bro, even when you watch a political conversation when these candidates will come, bro, the shit is sloppy as fuck, bro. Like it's all over the place. It sounds like
Yeah.
you don't know. This is the thing.
He
I don't
doesn't know
even-
enough.
Okay, bro. I don't even know all the laws, litigation, legislation, right? But you could tell when two niggas who know what they're talking about are having a conversation and nobody's getting lost in the conversation, or it doesn't feel like somebody's losing the point. Like when I watch Van Lathan talk to you or something
Yeah.
like that, or something like that, you hear political niggas go back and forth. You can hear who was more educated so quickly. And he's always out educated in the political sphere. So if the Daily Show is all mainly politically based, but it's also jokes and shit too.
It's
right?
also jokes,
It's
yeah.
also jokes and shit too. But
It's just regular, like, America's funny
just
shit.
imagine shit like
Yeah.
that. But it's like, bro, he's based on, even though I haven't seen the Daily Show, I've seen him on the Breakfast Club. How much better could it be on the Daily Show? I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch it though, objectively. I'm gonna watch it. But how much better could it possibly be if it feels like you don't know what you're talking about
He don't be
in
knowing
your
what
other
the fuck he
space.
talking about
And-
sometimes.
I think
yeah, and-
Charlamagne's
yeah.
problem is, I don't even think it's that he's
Sometimes.
being too PC. I think is that he's not very secure in what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I think the problem
could be it
is
too, yeah.
like what he's playing to. Like when you think about it, the Breakfast Club, and this is obviously no disrespect to Envy and Angela, but we all know that was Charlamagne shit. And the
course.
whole
Yeah,
purpose,
yeah.
and they still conduct the Breakfast Club in which it's like niggas who are underneath him, you know, are there,
Yeah,
right? And
right.
that don't work when you in a new arena where you kind of need niggas who are like
Better
more
than you.
educated than you, so y'all can act as a unit. The people he be bringing around him, and you know, I ain't gonna say nothing, but we talked about this. Who
Yeah,
he be
yeah.
bringing up there as his political characters. Them's not educated niggas in a
Yeah,
room full of
they're not.
That's what
actual
I'm
educated
saying.
learning
They're not
niggas.
educated.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. Like,
You know what? He might not be able to immerse himself the way he wants to. You know what I mean?
Because he's too busy or something?
Because all the shit. Like, if he were to somehow have to get rid of Breakfast Club and just do this shit only, he'd probably get better at it.
I
He'd
think
probably be able to immerse
I-
himself all the way through.
I also just think he just doesn't choose the right talent around him, and I think that is
That's
like
yeah.
consistent
too.
in both. And lots of times, like I look at who he'll sign to even like his Black Effect. When you look at like the and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, why do
His
you
name
Big
is Sloth on this
Sloth.
podcast.
Sloth? I did know that. I did know that. My fault. That nigga.
Lauren, we got to bleep.
You gotta bleep that shit.
But like niggas like that, and no disrespect to them, but it's like, why would you do this?
And on top of that, bro, it's like
Right? Like when you think about it, and I think that this is the way I see it. It's not like Charlamagne don't have access to the learned niggas.
You have
The,
the
the
access.
same way you see me
Yeah.
talk to Van Lathan. I know Charlamagne. I've been on the Breakfast Club. He don't call the the niggas like a stuff. But
does.
Ebro will call me up. You know what I mean? Something
Right.
happening legal wise. The Van Lathan
Bro,
stuff.
if there's certain shit happening, I'm calling specific people. Like,
Facts.
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Like, I have friends
For
that
specific reasons.
For
Yeah.
specific reasons, and it's like he either can't recognize, and it's another thing too. Charlamagne can feel how he wants about how like black people feel like we don't represent or respect what he's doing in other spheres. But just because you a nigga talking politics doesn't mean you automatically get the respect. You can't go over like just because you make that step does not mean I have to automatically applaud you
Yeah.
if based on what it looks like objectively you keep getting outmatched.
Yeah.
Why do I have to applaud that?
You do have to be good, but
I can applaud you taking that leap of faith or not even leap of faith, but working on a new era.
Yeah.
I don't have to applaud you if you're not good right now over there. It's just
Yeah.
what it is. Just because you're doing it, you don't get the applause for participation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can you get mad at that shit?
And I think, Charlamagne, he's reaching that OG status to where it's like he's kind of just deserving of respect just based off that level.
Yeah.
So it might be a little bit of that. It's probably a lot with Charlamagne. This nigga,
Probably a little
you think
bit
he's
of
in that LeBron phase to where it's like we're not going to keep putting him as the #1 player of all time if he's playing the best. Like it's at a point now with LeBron, we get it. You a legend. You still riding out, but it's like, nigga, these new niggas are the best niggas now.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
You don't. I don't have to. Especially,
Yeah,
if,
but who-
especially if you
hold
plan
on,
on.
but who's
Especially
the
if you
new
still
niggas
want
you
to
think are
play
better than Charlamagne?
at political shit or radio.
Period.
Just in terms of
either or
broadcasting?
both. Yeah, or broadcasting.
probably
whatever.
nobody.
Right now,
Yeah.
well, he's #2. I put him #2.
Yeah,
I
you
think
saying
there's
Joe
only
better
one
than
person
him.
that's got him right now, and it's Joe.
Okay.
And that's me being unbiased because
Yeah.
I listen to more Charlamagne than Joe Budden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Joe got him. I think Academics is close to getting him.
I think Academics might have that nigga.
Who?
Academics had a rough
Charlamagne?
year.
I listen to Act like
Yeah.
Academics
I was just-
had a terrible
Academics
year.
I be
had a rough
finding
year.
myself listening to Act like I'm
Me
listening
too.
to Act.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
I
had a
mean,
rough year.
But nah, Charlamagne
Wait,
the GOAT
what do you
though.
mean? What do you
Charlamagne
mean?
the
Hold
GOAT.
on. I'm about to say, what do you mean
Yeah, what do we-
Academics has him?
Yeah, what are
I
we
said he
rank-
got close to him.
What
I
are we
didn't say
ranking
that.
right now?
Okay.
Just like entertainment that we get from their broadcast?
That's what I was kind of going.
Possibly,
That's what I was
yeah.
kind
Is that-
of going on.
'cause
Just overarching.
Because that's
I
what
was
I was
saying
kinda-
Schultz
I was-
got him then.
I was low key thinking skill.
Yeah,
I
skill is
think-
what I was thinking.
Okay.
I was thinking skill.
I think the thing that I'm gonna give Charlamagne that I think Charlamagne feels like I think Charlamagne feels like people be too quick to put the Academics and the Joe Buddens around him without giving him the totality. And the reason why I'll say that is this. Academics, and I think Academics is better than Joe at maintaining relationships, but Academics is a nigga
for
who,
sure,
by virtue of how he carries on,
By nature.
blackballs himself from doors before he could
Yeah.
ever
For
enter
sure.
the fucking room.
Absolutely.
And Joe
Yeah.
Budden is a nigga who can't maintain a relationship, business, professional,
Yeah,
otherwise to save his motherfucking life.
Because he can get in there, but it might not go
But
successful after a
Charlamagne
while.
is a nigga who could get his foot in the say what you want. Charlamagne stay working. Charlamagne
Yeah,
gonna keep
that's
getting
a
these
fact.
opportunities.
Oh.
He's gonna
The
keep
net- the
getting another
networking side,
opportunity
yeah.
to make something stick. And from Charlamagne's perspective, Charlamagne is a nigga who's been successful on radio for dumb long.
for sure.
He
Hall
has
of
been
Fame.
able, even though he has
Hall of
TV
Fame,
shows
Hall
and
of
things
Fame.
that have flopped. You know what? He does have some that have been successful, and there is the larger fact that industry has kind of changed. He also
facts,
is somebody
facts.
who's been able to put out successful books. Those are all deals.
that's a
He's
big
able
thing.
to have his deals with iHeart. He's able to do a bunch
Duck
of shit. So
some
I can
rumors.
see why he feels frustrated when you compare him to niggas that can't get 300 niggas out to a show,
Yeah.
and a nigga
Yeah,
that
facts,
can't that
facts.
And to
every
a nigga
deal
that's
he
only
have blow
helping
up.
him.
Right.
Yeah,
And to be
right.
fair to him, the JBP second era JBP is nowhere near what it once was, or and Joe also himself does do side projects that flop. He just moves on.
No, that's true.
Like
Yeah,
how
that's
Joe,
true.
the
Yeah,
Joe
yeah.
Budden TV was supposed to be the Joe Budden Network. Every podcast that come up under there
No, that's
ain't gone
true.
no kind
Yeah.
of way. Those haven't been particularly successful. So
Yeah.
I can
I
get
feel
that.
like niggas do have to. And if we're gonna talk about just in terms of putting niggas on or niggas being able to grow next to you, if we look at Charlamagne from the Wendy, look at the Andrew Schultz and the niggas around Charlamagne at
Yeah.
least versus the niggas around Joe and around
Absolutely.
Academics.
Yeah.
So
It's everything that plays into
Academics
being the
really
best.
don't.
Like you can't,
Academics really don't have no fruit on their history.
yeah,
because if you're not helping the people around you, are you really the best? It's like it's a teamwork.
Yeah, you're not really doing
Joe
that.
only has Rory and Maul because he really put them
Yeah,
on.
that's
And
true.
that's
Right.
that was an accident. He wasn't like, let me set these brothers up because I
Well,
love
does he have
them.
more than Joe?
I mean, he got like I guess he kind of beefed up Mandy a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
man,
Does that
she was
count?
cool.
She was doing her thing.
already.
She was doing her
though.
thing, but
she was
I
already
mean,
doing her
being
thing.
with Joe is gonna be it's gonna be a magnifier regardless.
gonna be.
You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
started
saying?
watching M4's music videos
Right, but
because of Joe.
I can understand how Charlamagne would be
It's
like.
like, what the fuck was
Yeah.
happening back then? I had to do some research, man.
I can understand how
God.
Charlamagne would be upset at us comparing him, but like to use your analogy earlier, like if LeBron is a basketball player, but he has a whole lot of things, like he has books, he has this else, this going on, but you listen to Sports Center and they're talking about basketball and they're saying that this person over here is putting up better shots than LeBron in basketball, then he shouldn't be that upset about the specificity of the
he's-
conversation.
But I'll
Well,
tell
the
you-
basketball analogy kind of loses its wheels because it's like all of Charlamagne's other shit is also in the game still. It's
I-
not
but
like
it's not
he
the
plays
same.
basketball
But
and
no,
does books.
right,
but- what
He's
makes them
in
different.
media and broadcast.
But I mean, we're talking about the broadcasting skill aspect. So like we're talking about his skill on the
Yeah.
mic
We-
specifically.
Yeah, if we say
You see what I'm saying?
broadcasting, then everything.
That's
will
what
be
I'm talking
covered.
about. I'm talking about
But
but his
normally,
skill on the mic
Yeah.
specifically.
yeah, because normally, yeah,
I
Which is
think the
broadcasting.
difference between them is this, and don't get me wrong, I think there's a lot to be respected about academics' entire business model and how he's come up in a lot of different things that the academics don't get a lot of credit for. Because
Yeah.
academics
For
know
sure.
when academics is not being a jackass and being on some like sexist
Yeah.
rant,
He's
he be
doing
making
his
a
thing.
lot of sense when he's
Yeah.
talking about when he's actually peeling things back and explaining stuff. And when I watch academics,
especially when he
things,
goes through law, he be going in.
he can, yeah, he has his
Yeah.
moments. Academics, I think, definitely has his strengths. But I'll tell you this: academics was once talking about his own business model. He was like, "Why I got to stream like this?" And niggas who I think he was actually trying to like diss Rory and them, but he was
Okay.
talking about how these niggas ain't hungry like him and the need to always be on this. And he was like, the reason why he's successful, but he'll never stop working, is because he's like, if I stopped all of my chat niggas and the niggas who depended on my stream, if they used to seeing me stream this amount of times and I stopped doing that for a bunch of months, they will replace me with another nigga to stream. And that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
If
yeah.
academics
Facts.
stopped streaming right now for
Yeah.
3 months, 6 months, it'd be over for
Yeah,
academics.
that's a whole- that is a
Charlamagne
whole
could stop
fact.
talking to us for 6 months and he'll be Charlamagne.
Oh, that's 100%.
And that's my
That's a
point.
fact.
Yeah.
Charlamagne
That's a
gonna
fact.
be Charlamagne.
Yeah.
He'll be
He's the
remembered
legend.
in a
He's the
different-
legend.
Exactly.
He's a
And
legend.
that's why it's so disrespectful to him to compare him to these niggas.
But you think it's also different? The only difference, or the biggest difference in that comparison right there, is that the game that they're playing. Sure, academics is a broadcaster, but he's also a live streamer.
Yeah.
Like Charlamagne is coming from radio. That's some legacy shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like when you're a legendary and you're in the Hall of Fame for radio, it's hard to forget you. It's damn near impossible. But like streamers, them niggas come and go.
And it's like,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
but let's not act. Charlamagne is industry. This nigga has relationships. He's probably shooking hands with niggas we've never
Everybody.
we never
Exactly.
even thought had hands. Like,
Yeah,
nigga.
but I think that's the only difference I would say where it's like it kind of compares, but not really, just
Yeah.
because like streaming in general, I don't think it matters who you are. Streaming is a replaceable field.
Yeah.
You
It
know what I'm
is.
saying?
Yes.
It is.
Compared to being a Hall of Famer in radio.
It
Like,
depends.
Yeah.
It depends.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, Axe still does streaming, but I low-key feel like he's bigger than it. I do agree with you. If he
Yeah.
stopped
Yeah.
doing it, the fucking
It'd be
the
ugly
car's a
for
little
him.
shaky.
Yeah, it's
but
yeah.
he's done enough, and he's a big enough name to where like he could stop streaming. He could go focus on the podcast. I think he'll still be successful.
Yeah, I don't
in
think
it.
it'd be bad for him, but it would be
He's
very
not gonna
diff-
disappear.
It would definitely be shaky though. Yeah.
Think about it. But where do you put him? If you pull academic, even what academics has deals,
Well, that's
Rumble,
true.
and that, it's
Niggas are
anchored on
waiting to take his
academic
spot.
streaming,
That is
not the other
true.
shit. To me, I feel like it was really exposed when academics could not get them to say what he wanted and all the different stories he was coming up with. The struggle that he had to fill them 300
Yeah, them
seats,
300.
it says a big,
Yeah.
it's a
300
big difference.
asses
That's
is
a
not
fact.
a lot of
It's one
people
thing- That's not
anyway.
a lot.
Academics
Yeah.
has created a platform to where you cannot avoid academics if you want to know about hip hop and stuff like that, right? Like you have to recognize that when certain shit happening, academics are gonna have niggas tuning in.
That's a fact,
but niggas
yeah.
are not fans of academics.
Because-
they don't
That's a
respect
fact.
this nigga worth a
Yeah.
damn.
No, they don't. That's a whole fact. And that's why him not going away, why his spot is even more replaceable, and I can understand why he feels that fire, is because it's like we already don't like you, or the masses already don't like you.
They want you to
But
fail.
the fact that you won't go away, but yeah, if he went away, there's gonna be a nigga like one of us could just all of a sudden be like, I'm streaming every day and
Yes.
fucking fill that void. Of
And
you
how,
know what I'm saying? Like,
how can you not, like, there's no straight nigga in media that does what academics do that is just loved by everybody. Like, you have to be gay. Like
To be loved by
like
everybody?
a gossiper nigga in this.
Nah, he's right.
You got to be gay.
He's
Well,
got,
why you
there's
say
a
that?
point
Because
to
nobody
that.
likes the gay ones. Don't nobody like Jason Lee?
Everybody loves him.
Oh,
Nobody likes
like
Jason Lee.
everybody
Well, you can't
Nobody
say.
I feel like
likes
open-
I
Jason
think
feel like
Lee.
everybody
who's-
loves
I feel
him.
like
Nobody likes Jason Lee.
I feel like
What do you mean
openly
nobody?
people don't like
I mean,
him.
nobody.
Industry people
Who
or
likes
consumers?
Jason Lee?
And
Well,
then- yeah, because
Enough
the
people
niggas
to get
popping.
his
You
name
want to know
mentioned.
what you're saying is like how I think of like Wendy Williams. Like everybody in the industry haters, but like of course the people gonna love her because the
Right.
people.
People don't
Because
love
they're
Jason Lee
provi-
though.
Yes, they do.
The people
why they
know
tune
they
in?
don't.
That nigga's popping. Why is he popping?
people
then?
love him.
So you think?
Y'all
white
think
women
people
love
like
him.
Jason Lee?
It's not that
Where
they
Now I
like
do.
I don't
him.
think they like him, but
I'm serious.
Jay Noblez is my own. He's like, now I do. That's crazy.
I think-
That's crazy.
Why not?
That's
You think it's
crazy.
not him? You think it's the service he provides?
It is.
Okay.
People don't fuck with Jason Lee.
but do you think that's all media though? The service you
No,
provide?
it isn't all media.
Okay.
It isn't all media,
So-
but it's definitely them niggas.
So Jason Lee is nothing with gossip.
That's not true.
I'm not saying that. I don't cast moral aspersions on anything Jason Lee does. I'm indifferent to him, but niggas don't like that.
That's
nigga.
not true. It's a weird game when you play with gossip because it's like I fuck with Tasha K. I think she's just funny as shit.
Yeah, me
But if
too.
you
Yeah.
ask a lot of
Okay.
people,
Y'all
she's
stay
just
right there.
hated by the most. So I think this is type. It's the same situation.
Yeah.
When we're talking about like these gossip networks, we
Yeah, I
kind
feel
of
like
have to
that
move the
gossip shit-
goalposts.
Yeah, the gossip
'Cause
shit is a little fishy.
It's a little bit
You don't
different.
think
people-
Tasha K funny?
You don't fuck with Tasha K?
No,
I think she funny.
Oh, that's rude.
No, and unlikable about Tasha K.
What?
pretty
She's
funny
funny.
to
Her whole
funny.
mood went down.
She's
man.
funny.
Yeah,
She just got sued. She just got sued.
Hey, she did. She gonna
Would
keep
you
getting
defend
sued.
Tasha K?
Yeah, matter of fact, let's go over to that next. Let's take a pitch. But